Alright guys, let us continue again the class. So just now we are talking about collecting data. There are many different data collection that we are going to go through, but for today we are not going to talk in details about collecting data methodologies. So basically this is you put in your chapter 3, research methodology. The same way as analyzing and interpreting data, I'm just talking about in general steps in the process of doing research. Now, how does the research problem differ in quantitative and qualitative research? Everybody knows that there is quantitative and there is qualitative. In general, we understand that qualitative is a kind of narration. We go to the research site or research setting, interviewing people, and then transcribing the interview into a transcription, and we are going to present the data on the basis of narrative issues. So this is about wording. While quantitative research, we are measuring variables. For example, we have dependent variables and we have independent variables. And then assessing the impact of these variables on an outcome. There is like what we call generalization, which is basically in qualitative research we are not talking that much about generalization. We are not talking about generalization. We are talking about reflection, reflexivity of a researcher, because you are assessing a process over time. So in quantitative you are testing theories and giving broad explanations, while in qualitative research we are talking about how to generate theories on the basis of the participants' perspectives. And then in quantitative you apply results to a number of people, what I'm saying, a kind of generalization, while in qualitative you are talking more detailed information about few people or research sites. So you are talking about the quality, you are talking about what is basically going on in that research site, what is basically going on. For example, if you are researching about your students' activity in speaking, so you are talking in a kind of narrative issues regarding how students develop their speaking. Here we go. So why research is important? Creswell outline or highlight that there are four importance of research. First of all, research adds to our knowledge. So develop our knowledge, basically broaden our knowledge about particular issue that we are engaging in, particular issue that we are talking about, particular issue that we are researching. So this adds our knowledge and our understanding about what is basically going on in our class, so our students are not able to speak in English, even though in a very basic level. And the second one, research improves practices. So basically this is the aim of the research, to improve the practices of teachers. For example, when we are talking about English language teaching, we are talking about how to improve the practices of teachers. You understand? Great. And research informs policy debates. Basically, this is another important point of the research, that basically policymakers sometimes are not able to catch detailed problems in a field, let's say in education. So the work of researcher would help them develop a better policy regarding how to improve the quality of our education. And for one, research builds students' research skills. This is very specific, that when you are reading about research, when you are doing research, definitely it will build your understanding about research, and this is a kind of skill. Make sense? Great. We are not talking that much. Identifying research problem. Why do you need to identify your research problem? We need to answer this. So there are 3 points that we are going to go through. You need to specify an issue or a problem you are interested in. For example, when you are interested in reading comprehension, how to develop students' reading comprehension, you are talking about the strategies that the students you are teaching they need to develop. When you are talking about writing skills of students, when you are talking about different educational kind of issues, so this is the point that you need to ponder over. And justify the problem. So you need to justify the problem. Why the problem is important? Why you are interested in? What are you going to give or to contribute to the knowledge building regarding the problem that you are interested in, that you are taking as your research topic? And the third one suggests the need to study the problem for audiences. So when you find the gap, so you need to suggest the importance of studying it. Here we go. For example, specify a problem, what issues or controversies are urgently required to study. For example, teenagers do not learn how to interact with others in their community. Today, more teenagers, including our adulthood life, like us ourselves, we are more engaging to our mobile phone, and we spend so much time on it. So we are in need to do research. A kind of teenagers do not learn how to interact with others in their community because they spend so much time on doing something in his or her mobile phone. Teenage smoking will lead to premature death. For example, this is a kind of presumption. So what the kind of issues? Uncontrolled gun possession at school will lead to chaotic violence. So these are the examples of the problems that going on, or issues or controversies which are urgently required for research. So what is a research problem? Research problems, according to Creswell, are the educational issues, controversies, or concerns studied by researchers. Normally, a problem research is stated in the introductory section of a report. Normally, a problem of research you need to introduce for the audience, for the readers, in the first part of your report. For example, escalating violence in schools today. So you need to introduce to your audiences, you need to introduce to your readers what is basically the issues about escalating violence in schools today. Here we go. Justify the research problems you are interested in. Why the problem you are interested in is important. So you need to justify by bringing more evidences. For example, somebody or a researcher, previous researchers have already done research about the issues that you are interested in. So you need to fill the gap. So what is the contribution of the study? So you need to ponder over this. This is very important. What is the contribution of the study to the building of knowledge? Whether you choose a problem which is potential to contribute to the knowledge building or to make practice more effective. This is the point. Suggest the need to study a problem for your audiences. Ask yourself first, who will benefit from the study? Either decision makers, practitioners, researchers, or you yourselves as students. Anyhow, this is a kind of how to differentiate among the topic, research problem, purpose, and research questions. I don't need to go through this, but you need to practice yourselves. You bring your own issue, one or two issues you are interested in, or kind of controversies, and then you develop a kind of research problem. What is the purpose and the research question, or sub-research questions. So these are things that you need to think of in depth. For example, research problem, escalating violence due to uncontrolled gun possession in school. So escalating violence is a kind of issues. So what do you need to do for that? To investigate the educational stakeholders' view about the escalation of violence at school. The research question. What are the educational stakeholders' perspectives about the escalation of violence at school? Here we go. More simple. Distinguishing among the topic, research problem, purpose, and research question. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? I think you are confused now. No problem. This is very, very normal. For doing research, for studying research, for taking the course of research, everybody is getting headache, including the one who is teaching you now, because this is not easy. Alright? Have a look. No worry, I'm going to send it to your email or your Google Classroom, the material that we are discussing today. No worry about that. So again, distinguishing among the topic, research problem, purpose, and research questions. So you need to ponder over it in depth. Here we go. The same thing. I try to make or to catch your attention while I give you 4 or 5 examples about this, in order for you to get the core of it, to get in tune of the what is the topic, what is a research problem, purpose, and research questions. Here we go. So we have central or main question. What does it mean to be a professional lecturer, for example? So you need to generate sub-research question regarding this, based on the issues. First, what do the professional lecturers do? What is difficult or easy about being a professional lecturer? Which part is easy? Which part is difficult? Basically, this is the question is all about. And the third one, how does the lecturer realize his or her position as a professional? Whether, so in this case, that you need to ask question to the lecturer being a professional. So these are the sub-questions that you can write down in your introduction. Here we go. Nice, isn't it? The same thing. Again, I'm confident to give you more and more examples relating to how to develop a research question, main question, and you have sub-questions generated from the main questions. The same thing, what are the kinds of mass fighting that the students go through? So this is regarding mass fighting amongst upper secondary school students. The second one, what do the school stakeholders do to anticipate mass fighting among students? And the third one, how do the school stakeholders help and support their students to get out of mass fighting habit? Alright, this is very important. Okay, again, a research question. This is more simple. This is simpler. What are the experience of the undergraduate students of IA and Palu in the act of plagiarism? Okay, plagiarism is kind of, today is a kind of more a kind of very challenging stuff for the institution, for any institution in the world. Even in England, for example, some students do plagiarize their assignments from Mr. Google. They go for Google and they adopt and take it and copy paste it from it. So this is very important. I think this is one of the most interesting topic to discuss. So here we go, how to write a research problem statement. So again, so research question is different from research problem. Have a look. Begin to introduce the topic, subject area. So research problem must be written in an effective way by providing a good narrative hope. For example, a concern or issue. So you introduce a problem and something that needs a solution. So you justify the importance of the research problem being studied. You provide evidences from the literature, evidence from practical experiences of previous researchers. So deficiencies in the evidence. So there is intellectual gap. So make sure what your topic is all about, something that you fill the gap. For example, many researchers do research on how to develop skills, speaking skills of students. In fact, there are some gaps relating to materials developed for making speaking skills of students effective. Alright? Here we go. So this is example of an effective narrative hook. In the last 2 decades, there has been considerable concern about vocational education and training. This concern has been triggered by an increasing dissatisfaction on the part of education stakeholders, practitioners and observers. And then after that, in Indonesian context, the Sekolah Menengah Kejuruan or vocational upper secondary school has a key role due to its strategic relevance to the knowledge-based economy. So you introduce the topic and you provide an argument on the basis of the evidence, empirical evidences from different researchers. So have a look this one. Dalam 5 tahun terakhir, dunia pendidikan tinggi kita kembali diguncang oleh skandal akademik yang sangat memalukan. Betapa tidak, data yang dirilis oleh Kemenristek Dikti menunjukkan bahwa tindak plagiarisme di kalangan mahasiswa program Strata 1 meningkat signifikan. Tercatat bahwa ada 4 di antara 10 mahasiswa S1 melakukan tindak plagiarisme. Sementara itu, tindakan pihak pengambil kebijakan di perguruan tinggi tampaknya belum efektif untuk meminimalisir tindak kejahatan intelektual tersebut. Misalnya primata. Tidak ada seperti itu sebenarnya. Anyway, hal ini diakui oleh sejumlah pakar pendidikan tinggi bahwa kebijakan yang diambil oleh pemangku kewenangan di perguruan tinggi belum melahirkan efek jerak bagi mahasiswa. 1 dan 2011. Misalnya, this is just an example. Okay, to assess feasibility, you need to understand the place, participants, time, resources, including your skills. Alright? Okay, this is the end of our class today. So you need to make sure you understand the materials that we are discussing today, and I'm sure you understand, even though you need to ask questions. Anyway, do you have any question, guys? Okay, if you don't have any question, so the assignment would be, you write down a research problem, you develop a research topic you are interested in, and you write down a research question, main research question, and you generate at least 2 sub-research questions. This is your first week assignment. Alright? Thank you very much, and I would be very happy to meet you next week with everybody is ready with the assignment completed. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.